Hello.
I love.
Yeah, people are saying that they
Yeah,
can't hear me.
that was my fault.
Damn.
Sorry, guys. I'm terrible as usual.
True.
Uh oh, my model died.
Factually correct.
Yeah. Uh, okay, it's working again.
What do you mean you can hear such breathing hard? I'm not breathing hard at all. What the fuck?
I mean, I did run up the stairs, so that might be me.
Exactly. That's Danji. I don't
Yay.
breathe at all. I'm dead.
Sorry, guys. I'm so trash at the streaming thing. God damn it. Oh no, extra bad. Load, not start. Okay,
All right.
I think
Finally, we get to resume. Let's go.
yes.
All right. Slowly, my eyes opened, burning from tiredness. Felt like I'd only just dropped off.
As soon as Sedge starts breathing hard, I get an ad. I swear the Italians hate us.
True. Not for the reason you think, but true. How could you orientate yourself when all your saves are black screens? Great question.
I know. How the
It's
hell?
probably the latest one, the one that says it's the latest.
Oh, I forgot to turn my lights on. I
Is
forgot to
this
do
how you find out
everything.
you? Maybe the reason why you were breathing so hard at the start is because you also forgot how to breathe, for a
I
moment,
mean,
and you had
true.
to remember the hard way.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Let me know when we can resume.
Okay, I think everything is working again.
All right. It was pitch black again, but this time the room was uncomfortably warm. I peeled off my bed sheets, groaning as I swung my paws over. The radiator was on full blast. I knelt and turned it down. At least I now knew Joseph had fixed the heating. My stomach clenched as I remembered the events of yesterday. Guilt, followed by anxiety over how I could stand to face a pissed off crew for the next couple of weeks. Or at least half of them were. I was mad and damp. The heat must have been on for a while now. As much as I just wanted to drop off again, I knew the sweltering heat would keep me awake. I checked my phone. 3:11 a.m. I figured a shower wouldn't be amiss. I need to change my bed sheets before I try to sleep again, though. Before I did, though, I decided to open my bedroom porthole. I could let the excess heat out while I showered, hopefully making the room cool again before bed. I pattered over to the windows and grabbed the handle and pushed, inviting a gust of frigid air inside. Gazing out, I could see. Is that land? It was hard to tell the haze in the distance, no doubt another blizzard on the way, but there was what appeared to be a vast field of solid ice nearby. And were those mountains? Where the hell were we? I thought we'd be searching the seafloor, and Sharif didn't mention checking land. You know what? Oh, uh, it
Did
went a
I?
bit further.
I think
Yeah.
I double clicked. Dang it.
You know what? This can wait until after I clean up. After stripping off my underwear, I turned the knob for the shower. Despite the heating being on, I wasn't taking chances this time. I placed a hand tentatively in the stream to ensure it wasn't either going to scald me or freeze me. Fortunately, it settled a comfortable temperature and I climbed in, adjusting it down a little for cooler water. A long, satisfied sigh escaped my muzzle as I just stood, head leaned back, allowing the water to run over my chest. I allowed myself a smirk at the irony of needing to cool down in the middle of the Arctic. My anxious brain was quiet for a change. The insufferable voice that was always looking for things to worry over was probably overwhelmed at the options it had right now. My smirk turned to a chuckle. I don't know why I felt in such good spirits, but I wasn't going to question it. Just as I turned the handle to shut off the water. Ah! Like a red hot poker had been jammed to my eye. I clamped it shut, covering it with a hand. I struggled over to the sink where my toiletries bag was. I fumbled the bottle of Proxy and popped the top off, letting it fall to the floor as I squeezed one, then two drops in. Another sigh, harsher and less relaxed, but no less relieved. I allowed it to do its work as I closed my eye and leaned over the sink. Once my eye was pain-free, for now, I glanced up at myself.
Whoa. Will Twitch allow this? Kidding.
Once again, my gaze was drawn by my gaunt frame, the way my ribcage stuck out beneath my fur. Could you go back one, please? Yeah, like a lot of onces, in this section. But yeah, don't worry.
Just
No.
looking. Yeah, I was just looking. Sorry.
Once my eye, once again. Yeah. But whatever.
Okay, Leslie.
Uh,
Oh, did you read this?
yeah, I already read this.
Huh. Sorry.
The memory of my first night here, almost naked in front of the others, made me grit my teeth. I pulled down my left eyelid to examine it. The milky cataract stared blankly back. What would anyone see in this fucking skeletal wreckage of a wolf? Good question. Kidding.
He's a
Bile
super
rose
twink.
up.
Why don't they love themselves? Twinks never love themselves.
Excuse me, I love myself a lot, and I'm a twink. The twinkest twink ever.
You're the brattiest twink ever. So you
Incorrect. No, not a. I'm the Brad Destroyer. Fuck you. Joking. Bile rose up my throat. A burning coal of hatred ignited once more in my chest as I remember the man who did this. Enough. This wasn't a time to ruminate. I was feeling better after my shower. Better take advantage and try to sleep while I was in a bit of a better mood. I grumbled to myself as I flicked the light on.
Ugh, my
I
cat.
pulled fresh sheets in the cupboard. Oh.
Lucy, stop. What are you doing?
Gibby alert.
She's knocking
Gibby
everything
alert.
over because she's mad that I'm not paying attention to her.
As she should be. That's your fault.
I know. Yeah,
Grab her
it's fine.
immediately and put her on your lap.
I can't. She went to bed. She's angry at me now.
Damn.
I have to go do more felting later, so she'll get to sit with me. There's nothing. She doesn't miss anything when I sit at my desk for 10 minutes. Well, okay, like 2 hours, but.
An hour and a half usually. But yeah. I pulled fresh sheets from the cupboard. I threw the old stuff in a corner. I could deal with laundry in the morning.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It had cooled right down to the porthole open, so I closed it again so it didn't freeze. So I didn't freeze. No sooner had I finished making the bed, I flopped down and gave a groan of frustration. If I'd known this trip would be such a clusterfuck. But then I reached my phone and once again gazed sadly at Mum's texts. Gail threatened to overwhelm me, but this time I remembered my decision. Against all odds, I decided to continue. For her. As much as it hurt me to know she must be beside herself with worry, I took some small comfort in that. I sat her back down, resolving to prioritize above all else, getting into contact to reassure her I was fine. I closed my eyes, feeling a small measure of optimism. The sounds of ice bumping and scraping the hull was unsettling. It was sporadic, mostly seeming to come from my side of the ship. I remember seeing what appeared to be land of some kind last I looked at the porthole. Maybe we were navigating around an island or something. Being close to land did settle my nerves a bit whenever a particularly loud ice impact sent a chill through me. What was it Stefan had said? Something about an old sailing ship getting crushed in ice. But then I found myself reasoning that the metal hull of the Sylvia was, hopefully, more resilient as your fate. The thought of using Stefan's rambling to reassure myself brought a small smile.
Oh, I thought it would scare him, considering it's a conspiracy theorist that he's reassuring himself.
He's reassuring himself, if someone is going to die, it's going to be the possum first.
No, not the cute guy. He my favorite.
I don't know how long I lay there, just listening to the sounds and trying to organize my thoughts. The air was cool, but the gentle motion of the ship combined with the quiet noises of the ice made it hard to fully switch off. I feel like every single time that I voice act this BN, I have a different voice for Garrett because I can never decide whether I want to sound normal or more Scottish, you know. So I just keep alternating.
I mean, I think you're doing well. He seems consistent to me.
Although actually, like yeah, because we have to redo those episodes that we couldn't turn into
Yeah.
VODs. I guess I can be more consistent then.
Well,
Make it
and the
sound more
one
Scottish.
it was the one where Kosha doxed you too.
True. Damn,
Bad
good thing
Kosha.
we didn't. It seemed to be developing from low, echoey snapping to more of a crackling noise. Maybe we were entering thicker ice. After a while of failing to drop off, with a resigned huff, I threw off the covers and stood.
I'm teasing you, Kosha.
Fuck this, I'm going for a smoke. But then it hit me. No lighter. Okay, fuck this, I'm going for a walk. Maybe getting some air would help, and I could see the ice situation for myself. I pulled on my clothing, ensuring I had a few bottles of Proxy and Diclo in case I had another thunderclap. My smokes were in my pocket as per usual, even without a lighter. It was automatic, like making sure I had my phone, wallet, or keys. Zipping my jacket up, I listened for sounds in the corridor for a moment to ensure I wouldn't run into anyone before making my way to the deck. Huh? Wait, is it me or was the transition weird?
Let's see.
No, okay, yeah, it was just Discord that bugged out for me, sorry.
Oh, yeah, probably.
The corridor was dark again. Strange, the power was definitely on. I closed my door and turned toward the stairs leading up, but paused as I saw. Hello? I called out, quietly as I could so as not to disturb the people in the cabins. I thought I saw a figure at the end of the corridor, entering the utility section where the laundry was. No sounds came back, and by the time my eyes had adjusted to the dark, whoever it was, if it even was anyone, was gone.
1 second.
Oh, damn.
Eh. There we go. Had to ban.
Yep. Good job.
I clicked.
I shrugged. To be honest, I wasn't in the mood to chat, so if they wanted to be alone, that was fine with me.
I get it, Kosha. I've done some silly things while on my medication, too.
As I reached the stairs, I gave another glance into the darkness before heading up. The snow crunched underfoot as I made my way to the side. My hand moved on its own to my pocket, and I was halfway to pulling a smoke from the back of my teeth when I remembered my missing lighter. I never really realized just how ingrained the habit was. My heart picked up and my nerves frayed, especially the prospect of my Elazar going missing. Maybe you could convince some of the others to help me search tomorrow. Maybe. With a heavy sigh, I leaned on the bulwark and gazed out toward the right. Ugh, dear Lord, sorry.
No worries.
With a heavy sigh, I leaned on the bulwark and gazed out toward the rising dark, snow-capped peaks looming out of what looked like an incoming blizzard. And look, here the blizzard is not very visible, but yeah, fair. Another
Hey.
batch of bad weather. I wish Sharif picked a better time of year for this expedition. That was when I saw it. Subtle at first, but then the smell hit. Acid, acrid, cloying and foul. The scent hit the back of my throat and burned my nose, triggering a wrenching cough. Tufts of smoke were escaping from somewhere beneath me from the portholes. I glanced down over the side and felt my heart stop. Oily black fumes of pouring out of a porthole. As I watched the dawning horror, the smoke intensified and was joined by plumes billowing from a second, then third porthole. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck! Just as I spun on my heel to run inside, two figures skidded out of the door from the lounge.
Garrett,
Dana, there's fire, smoke.
I know.
I know. Oh, sorry.
Stay here. Do not go back inside.
She tossed a life jacket at me and turned back.
If anyone else shows up, tell them to stay right here. Right there. I need to find the captain and warn the others.
Before I could protest, she dashed back inside. What do we do? My mouth was dry, my hands shook. I fumbled with the jacket, trying to put it on with my bulky coat. Get her life jacket on. We need to find the lifeboats. He fumbled with his own life jacket for a second when he suddenly cried out. My camera! Yo, what? Forget it, the fucking ship is... I can't leave it. It's in my pack. Stay here. Stefan? Stefan! I bellowed after him, incredulously. My own arms were occupied by the fucking bulky piece of shit jacket. I coughed again as the wind blew the smoke back into my face. I couldn't stay here. It felt like the fire was right under my feet. My eyes stung, and I glanced back toward the rear. It seemed like it was clear that way. There was an ear-piercing scream coming from somewhere beneath me. People below decks, struggling to escape. I could just stay here. I could grab a fire extinguisher, try to help others escape. Then I heard the sound of something popping beneath me, like a cork, followed by a loud hissing noise. The hissing increased in pitch, like a whistling kettle. I realized I need to be anywhere but where I was currently standing. But by the time I'd started to run, a bright flash blinded me. Everything glowed orange, scorching me and lifting me off my feet. Ah! The moment I hit the water, it felt like I'd been slammed into concrete. I gasped, instantly inhaling water. The cold was indescribable. My muscles instantly seized, and for a moment, my body couldn't move. My mind couldn't comprehend the sensation. Then, my lungs burned and I choked, thrashing around as I tried to figure out which way was up. I tried to breathe, but my brain refused to accept I was underwater, and I only got another lungful of frigid ocean water. I'd expelled all the air in my lungs from my scream as the explosion threw me overboard. All I had was salt water, choking me. My whole body was sluggish despite my panic. Nothing could have ever have prepared me for this utter cold. I finally managed to orient myself. A deep orange glow pointed me to the surface. A fire. I gurgled, feeling like a lead weight was pulling me down. My clothing, meant for protection from the elements, was the absolute worst thing I could be wearing at this moment. I drove myself upward, thrashing, flailing, desperate. I broke the surface, trying to suck down precious air. I almost threw up as I choked, spilling water from my lungs as I thrashed and flailed. Help! It took 2 full breaths to expel the water, and I've never taken a breath in my life more glorious than that inrush of air that followed. I struggled, trying to orient myself. Why was it Sylvia? The cold was like a million knives digging into me. My clothing might as well have been an anchor dragging me under the surface. I try to remember. What had June said? Don't panic. Get into a stable floating position. I'd not managed to get my life jacket on. Without it, floating was utterly laughable. And as for not panicking, I tried to tread water, pawing at the icy ocean. My limbs felt tight, my chest constricted, and my legs like they were moving through treacle. I screamed and yelped, choking as gobfuls of water splashed into my mouth, and I frantically tried to keep my head above the water. My one mercy was that the ocean was relatively calm, and it gave me enough visibility to spy an expanse of white nearby. Ice. I had no idea if it was thick enough to support my weight, but I no longer cared. I started to weakly paddle towards it. Every moment was agony. Each time I pulled at the water, I felt like my arms were trying to cut through tar. I just wanted to stop, to float, to sleep. Every breath I took was choked by water splashing into my face. The ocean waves washed over and around me. I couldn't tell if they were carrying me further away from the ice. My strokes slowed, my breathing labored, and my legs burned in agony. The cold alone was torture, the worst pain I'd ever experienced, more than even my thunderclaps. But when every ounce of warmth was sucked out of you, numbing your limbs, leaving you wondering if your arms and legs were even still there, all I wanted was to stop, close my eyes. Inch by inch, in constant suffering, the ice drew closer until, with all the strength I could muster, I reached for it and dug my stubby claws into it. The ice was just about chest level. Both my hands were planted on the surface, pulling my chest against the edge. All I needed now was to pull myself up and onto the cold but at least dry surface. My breathing slowed. My eyelids felt heavy. If I allowed them to close, I wasn't sure I'd ever open them again. My claws clung to the ice. If it weren't for the layer of snow providing friction, I'd have simply slid off to sink into the depths. I pulled. My body arched. My body ached. My muscles screamed, and I did too. Tears poured from my eyes, or at least I think they did. It's hard to tell when you're soaked to the bone. My ears rang. Every sinew strained to yank my body out of the water. First my chest. The weight of my soaking clothes amplified as I left the water. Then my hips as I scrambled onto the snow, crawling until I was finally fully out. My panting, My panting, heaving breaths were the only noise apart from the waves. The snow beneath me, cold as it was, might as well have been a heated blanket compared to the Arctic Ocean. Gradually, the wind started to pick up. Light snow turned to flurries, turned to a howling wall of ice. My body quaked. My teeth chattered. Everything hurt. All I wanted was to close my eyes and just sleep. I didn't even particularly care if I woke up. No. I had to get up. Get up. Fuck. It hurts. It took everything I had to force myself to my knees. Then finally to my paws. I swayed, trying to take stock. I couldn't hear anything except the wind. Nor could I see any sign of Sylvia. No glow of fire. No sound of engines. Hello? Anyone? Nothing but silence. No cries for help, screams, shouts in return. The burst of panic in my chest dispelled my fatigue as I spun around, trying to get my bearings. Hello? Anyone there? I caught my hands around my muzzle and screamed to the white. Panic jolted through me. If Sylvia had exploded and no one else was alive. Hey! Is anyone there? I'm here! Oh, fuck off. Please, I can't be stranded. I continued screaming, a voice becoming increasingly shrill and desperate. I scanned the dark just beyond the white flurries for something, anything that might be life. A light, a flare. Light, of course. I reached into my pocket, feeling a sense of relief when it closed around the sturdy torch June had given me back during the blackout. Christ, I kept it. I flashed it around me, continuing to scream and shout for help. I had no idea how far the beam would travel in these conditions, but at least it wasn't in near total darkness. Then I heard it. It was subtle, at first, almost inaudible against the buffeting wind. But then it sounded again. I could have sworn it was a voice. Distant, faint, with a final, despairing look around for any possible evidence my former crewmates or the Sylvia. I turned, pricking my ears and pointing them this way and that to pinpoint the source of the sound. Trudging through the snow, I felt my body weaken. The wind and snow seemed to suck the warmth from me. Every minute that passed left me less able to move. My steps shortened and slowed. My eyes felt heavier. The voice, whatever it was, faded. I continued on regardless in the direction I was moving. Because really, what else could I do? Mom. Now we're both going to be lost out here. Unmarked, unburied. And when Mom passes, unloved. One step, another. My hips and legs hurt. My paws were numb. How long had I been walking now? How far was I from where I'd started? Stupid. I shouldn't have moved. Now, even if there were any survivors, they'd have no chance of finding me. Just when it felt like my knees were going to finally give, plunging me face first into the endless white, I heard another noise. Different from the first. It sounded big. I stopped in my tracks, straining my ears once more, trying to listen for it again. As I listened, the winds around me started to subside. The snow eased, and my line of sight expanded, giving me a better view of my surroundings.
That's a cool effect.
This is impossible. As the blizzard eased, she came into view, and for a moment, everything else fell away. The groaning of metal sounded once more, like she was a wounded beast crying out in pain. I'd found her. I'd found the iron.
Oh, sorry.
I noticed...
Oh no, I thought I skipped one. Sorry.
I noticed a snow mound piled up against her stern. There was nothing else I could see along her hull that would allow me to get aboard, so I began making my way there. The snow mound wasn't easy to climb, but I clearly had time to settle into a natural ramp. I scrambled up on my hands and knees, my whole body shaking violently and my eyes heavy with fatigue. But finally, I reached the bulwark and dragged myself over it into the deck. Can we take a brief break?
Yes.
I need to go to the bathroom.
No
Be right back.
worries. I've been quiet because I've been too worried to, break the mood. It's so nice right now. I want to know what happens next. As not quite as good a writer as Sedge or Karis, I think that the pacing has been pretty good so far. I'm an avid horror reader and lover, so I think how it's been drawing us in has been good. So no, I was being serious. I wasn't trying to like be like, oh well, since I'm also a writer. I would agree with Argoloth. You want short, punchy sentences. But yeah, I wrote and am still writing in the spotlight. It's like not in a spot where I'm like the most excited about, and like I need to get to the part where I'm excited again, so I'm like trudging through the like typical we're just hanging out moments. So it's not, I want to finish this next chapter. I like the effect. The snow effect is really cool. I just recently got rid of like YouTube off of my phone. So I need like a list of FVNs that I can read when I'm going to bed now to have something to kind of replace it. There's a handful that we want to read together and stream. So I'm like, those ones are cut off because I don't want to like spoil myself on them. But I get it. You need specific times to read these things. So how you doing? Why? We want to support and highly critique. Ugh, same Nev. What is time?
I'm back.
Hi, welcome back.
Sorry, I missed any discussions?
Kosha was asking you for some advice on pacing. And I just said, well, as a writer myself.
Yeah, you are. What do you think?
Oh, I just agreed with Argoloth about needing in punchy sentences for like really intense scenes. I think the pacing on this is decent because it's like he's confused, his mind is wandering. He's definitely like repeating things, which, you know, happens when you're like kind of in a deadly situation. So it's good. I think so.
I mean, yeah, like I feel like there's definitely moments like these where like there are moments that you want to like lengthen as much as possible because the suspense is engaging, you know. I do feel like it could be shortened somewhat, just a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but
Because it does feel like it drags on just a little bit too long, you know.
But I think
like
that
just
would
by
be
a tiny bit.
yeah, I think that would be nitpicky though. It's not that it needs to be. It's just
No, yeah,
that if it was, it would tighten it up a bit.
yeah, I agree. I wasn't entirely sure what I'd expected to see. Devastation, holes in the hull, maybe even bodies. But besides the layer of snow and ice, and the groaning of the equipment under the weight of 2 years of neglect, it seemed almost normal. Only one broken window marred an otherwise shockingly pristine scene. And part of me found that more concerning, if anything. But for now, I couldn't think on it. I needed shelter, warmth. I spied an open door leading inside, creaking and swaying in the breeze, and with each passing moment, the hope of survivors faded. Once inside, I closed the door behind me, hoping to keep some of the frigid winds out. Hello? Is anyone here?
Oh, bye, Leslie. Thanks for hanging out.
Hi. Please, someone help me. Only the sound of the wind outside, the rattling of equipment, and the sounds of doors rhythmically slamming in the breeze answered me. I never felt so cold in my life. My nose felt like a lump of ice, my paws were numb, and my hands were tucked under my arms, hugging myself in the vain hope of warming myself. Okay, Garrett. First things first. Find warmth. But on a ship this huge, where would I even start looking? No power meant no central heating. Clothing felt like a lead weight on me. Soaked through as I was, my clothing was far more of a hindrance to getting warm at this point.
Argoloth says that there was 2 times myself a couple paragraphs ago.
Let's
note.
check. Can we go back and check?
Yeah. I'm just gonna...
No, wait.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna... I'm gonna go
more.
through and then look again.
Okay.
There was...
No?
Nope.
Yep.
Oh, is that
Hugging
it?
myself in the vain hope of warming myself.
Ah, yes, there it is.
Could just make the last one staying warm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's... There we go. Note up.
We were too focused in. Good catch,
Yep.
Argoloth.
We're locked in.
Okay. This one?
Nope.
Too
Keep
far?
going.
Keep going? Tell me when to stop. Oh.
There we go. I started to strip. My hands barely able to unlace my boots or unzip my jacket. They were shaking so violently. Oh, there's a missing comma there.
Oh, yeah.
My hands barely able to unlace my boots or unzip my jacket. They were shaking so violently.
Okay. Were you noting that?
Yeah, I should. There we go.
Okay.
Once naked, I tried to shake off what I could. While the ice-cold water wasn't directly sucking warmth from me anymore, even the soft breeze inside the ship was enough to cause me to shiver. I needed alternative clothing, a blanket, something. A ship this size must have a huge kitchen and probably gas stoves. If a crew'd survived for a while, they might have gathered supplies in a central place, like the mess hall or below decks. Ah! No, not now. My eye burned, forced me to lean against the wall as I clamped a hand over it. My other fumbled and my sudden closed my pocket. Wait, where is it? I pulled out both bottles and squinted at them, tears welling up as the pain made me grit my teeth. Fuck. Neither is the proximeticaine. They're both diclofenac. Actually, go back.
Oh. Here?
Neither is the proximeticaine. They're both. This has been present tense.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
There we go.
Yep.
My heart dropped. I must have picked up 2 bottles of the Diclo by accident. With an angry snarl, I shoved one back in my pocket, then unscrewed the other, forced my eye open and squeezed. The cold of a liquid, no doubt even cooler on account of being soaked in frigid seawater, soothed the pain on contact, but my eye still burned. I'd have no choice but to wait for it to kick in. Squinting through the pain, I scanned for signs, maps, or directions as somewhere I could hold something useful. The walls were a mess of warnings, notices, signage about hard hats or hazards, but I did find directions. Mess hall and hospital. I continued a bit further and saw a set of icy-looking steps leading down to into pitch darkness. The stairs are barely wide enough for 2 people. At the bottom, a light caught a sign on the wall. Engine room. Clothes. I needed clothes. And from those 3 possibilities, the hospital seemed like the best shot. Even if I could only find blankets, it was better than nothing. The hospital was fortunately signposted pretty heavily. I had to climb a set of icy steps to reach it. Balls nearly sliding out from beneath me. Also, damn, my phone shut down for a moment, so I can't read.
Oh,
what
okay.
If anyone said something important earlier, I missed it.
Oh, Nevin left. Oh, bye, Nevin.
Damn. Oh, Saj.
I missed it. Sorry. Oh.
I clung to a handrail for dear life as I made my way up. On my way, I continued to call out. Only the soft wail of wind blowing through the interior answered me.
Kosha was just talking about how Carrot seeks any excuse to get naked, and I was just thinking about what if this turned into like an anime moment where someone finds him and he's like naked and they do a whole blushy moment. But that's completely inappropriate.
This seems like a good moment to have a moment like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If this was any other FVN, that would 100% happen. Joking.
Yeah, we're in terrible life-threatening situation. Let's have a blushy anime moment over being naked.
Let's have a night of degeneracy. When I arrived, the door was plain and unassuming, but was marked with a green cross and hospital. I feel like and the word hospital, like just an hospital, feels a bit weird, but minor nitpick.
You could always send it over and just see what they think.
Yeah.
Connor went on a suicide expedition just to get away from his nudist anime brother.
True. Honestly, who can blame him? Just before I gripped the handle, a thought struck me. Gail. Tabby. Their mum was a ship's doctor. What if I had found her? I hadn't found any other bodies so far, but that was no guarantee. Besides, I can think of many places on board where I'd be more likely to find dead people. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and let myself in. Is anyone there? Nothing, of course. Next to the door was a desk with old faded papers scattered on them. A PC, screen covered with a layer of frost, stood silently. Beyond the desk was a set of disheveled beds. Fortunately, they were empty. I sat my soaked clothes onto a nearby table and started pulling blankets off the nearby bed. They were chilly, but dry. I wrapped one tightly around my shoulders, another around my waist like an absurd skirt. Already I felt a little better. With the intense chill softened by the blankets, I felt more able to look around. I stepped carefully around the desk, examining some of the papers strewn about, but most of them had deteriorated too much to be legible. In all honesty, I didn't really know what I'd expected. Bodies, maybe. The total lack of any signs of a crew was gnawing at me. There were a few shelves and some fridges full of drugs and medicines. I wonder if it'd have any proxy. It was a long shot, but a stinging eye decided for me that it was at least worth a shot. I tried the fridges first, but I was quickly overwhelmed by an onslaught of unfamiliar drug names. When I examined the vials, a lot of them were misted with frost, the clear liquid within seemingly unchanged. With increasing frustration, I checked each vial, bringing it up to my torch before sliding it back. No proxy, just lots of drugs that I had no idea the purpose of. This was a waste of time. I cursed and staggered back, pressing my back against the wall to try and stay upright. Two backs in the same sentence, but it's fine. They're different backs, you know.
Oh, yeah.
How much time had I wasted? I needed a heat source. My eye could wait. But I was still confused at the lack of any presence on board. Did they evacuate? If so, where? I glanced at the desk of the computer. Stacks of paper strewn across the desk. Amongst the ruined paper are notes. One piece caught my eye. It was better preserved than the rest, although still mostly obscured by damp, and the ink had faded or smudged beyond legibility. I gently scooped it up, afraid it would turn to mush in my hands. It was handwritten, faded, but parts were still legible. Staff are, with increasing regularity. Shifts are often operating at reduced, much as half strength. I informed Dixon that my staff were overworked as it is, but she insisted we continue the agreed upon plan. Assuming the situation is not worsened, which we have enough chlorpromazine in to last another 6 weeks. Diazepam is nearly exhausted, and I would strongly object to the widespread use of flunitrazepam, particularly due to its potential for abuse. Contact of mainland to discuss possible causes, but I am lodging a formal complaint about Captain McGregor's insistence on continuing despite morale is hard enough to maintain without stalking the corridors and shouting. Not much use. Apart from diazepam, I didn't recognize any of the drugs named, but it seemed clear a medical professional wrote this. Maybe even Dr. Waters herself. In any case, there wasn't much I could glean from it. I wasted enough time. I could barely stand anymore. I needed to find warmth before I lost consciousness. Forcing myself upright, I staggered to the door, my mind already searching for where to go next.
Ooh.
Where do I go?
Where do we want to go?
I think you can go both.
We can eventually go both? Yeah, okay.
Pretty sure.
Oh, I was like, oh, didn't something go to the engine room? But that was at the last boat, right?
The engine room, the Sylvia's engine room presumably exploded. I don't know.
Well, because he saw someone go in there, didn't he?
He thought he saw someone.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, there's someone going in there, but no, that was the wrong boat. Completely wrong boat. Could look in the mess hall for any food, but I can't help myself. Of
course you will look for food.
Hey, food helps you stay warm.
Yep. I know what you are.
Kosha made the same joke that I was gonna make, but I was like, it's too serious. I can't make the joke. One piece caught my eye.
True.
Yeah, let's go to mess hall.
The doors leading to the mess hall were closed tightly. At first I thought it was locked, but after pushing against it, I realized something on the other side was leaning against it. Also two against it in the same sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a sec. The doors leading to the mess hall.
Also, it was me. Sorry, Garrett. I'm the one that eats all the food here.
There we go. Da-da-da.
Got it?
Yep. A shove that probably would have been near effortless had I been in a better state. The door creaked open on iced hinges. I slid my body onto the crack for once. Thankful for my skinny frame. By the way, that's a very weird.
I don't think this needs to be here. I don't think the comma needs to be there.
Yeah.
For once, thankful for my skinny frame.
There we go.
That feels like an accident more than a...
Yeah. Hello? Nothing. Around me, my voice echoed amongst the empty tables. strewn of what looked like the remains of food tins, packs of snacks, water bottles, and drink cans.
Oh,
I paused.
drinks cans?
Drinks cans.
Is that proper?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't. But I feel like even if it is, it's like a minor thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't stop. Like you autocorrect it naturally.
Hmm.
I paused, giving the air a sniff, like a bear.
Yeah. Is there food here?
Stinky. I paused, giving the air a sniff. As much as my nose hurt from the frost snip, I still had my sense of smell at least. Part of me braced for the scent of death, of any of the Iron Crew's remains. But the air only carried a faint, musty smell. The smell of clothes left in a humid closet for a long time. Which was a relief. With another shove, I squeezed myself for the door. It was almost pitch black. Only the tiniest amount of moonlight was making it through the thoroughly frosted over windows. As I surveyed the room, it quickly became clear that this had been a shelter of some kind. Makeshift beds were scattered on the floor along with utensils, but where was everyone? This place had clearly been used by people waiting for rescue, but there was no sign of bodies. I couldn't help but feel that the state of the place suggested its occupants had left in a hurry. But if so, where? All the doors were locked, presumably to keep the heat in, and there were still boxes of cans, tins, and packets of food.
1 second. Okay. Sorry. Someone ban evading.
Huh. I didn't see anyone in the chat. But...
Yeah, it got caught, but I had to ban them again so they couldn't multi-post.
Nice. I had to stop this. I have more pressing needs. I needed a working heater to warm up. I paced down the row of repurposed tables and benches, tipped over either the foam blanket-covered one-person shelters or possibly in a fight. It was difficult to tell from the general disarray. My dread grew as I failed to spot anything like a heater. Not even a barrel of wood. What the hell had they kept warm? That was when I noticed a shutter, separating a dining area from the adjacent room. Of course, the kitchen. Maybe a gas stove. Surely a gas stove and some matches would warm me up, even if just for a little while, to stave off the frostbite, to keep me awake. I staggered to the door next to the shutter, my teeth clattering, and turned the handle. Fucking hell. I turned and pulled and finally slammed my shoulder against it, but it didn't move. I doubted my skinny frame would have budged it, even if it wasn't near collapse. I leaned against the door, eyes closed and panting of exertion. What I wouldn't give to people just curl up and sleep right now. There were bedrolls all around me. The kitchen was out of the question, and the shutter looked, if anything, even more impregnable. How much time had I wasted? My eye no longer hurt, thankfully, but I couldn't tell if it was because the dick had kicked in, or the general pain in my body had made it less noticeable.
No, my bear senses has gotten him killed. Oops, sorry.
Pushing myself upright, I staggered back to the entrance. This place had been a waste of time, and now I didn't know if I had it in me to try somewhere else. Every step took effort. My teeth chattered, and I could barely keep my eyes open. In my daze, I could only think of one place left that might find something to warm me up. The ship's doors, somewhere in the lower decks. Problem is, I had no idea where to go or to look. As I slowly made my way down the stairs, gripping the rail for dear life in case my trembling knees gave way, I could only guess. I shuffled, half awake through dark corridors. My torch beam vibrated violently as my hand shook. I don't know how long I wandered, spending every ounce of strength to stay upright. But when I briefly was pulled back into lucidity,
Ooh. I'm trying to...
What the fuck?
I really like this art. Like, is this 3D?
Yeah, the art for this VN goes really fucking hard, dude.
Like, it's like... Do they have a hide? Oh, they do. Like, this is so good. Like, this is so good. I have to appreciate it for a minute. Definitely looks 3D rendered, but I mean, that doesn't take away from it. It still looks good. Very good.
Fuck. It took a moment for my cold little brain to register what I was seeing. It seemed like a riot took place here. And the door. What language was that? There was nothing to indicate what was behind the door. No signs or labels besides the spray paint. And yet I knew it had to be a warning. I tried to swallow, but my throat was dry and my body was quaking violently. Who's that? On the edge of my hearing. A voice? Calling out. Connor? The voice seemed so distant, yet I could swear it was almost next to me. Muffled. And that's when I realized. Mom? I moved to the door, pressing my cheek to the cold metal and straining to hear. Mom? Are you there? Speak! I'm here! I'm alive! I pounded on the door. She was so close. I could hear her voice. I'm here, just shout if you can hear. The muffled voice put my foot on end, but it had to be her.
No, Garrett.
I hammered on the door. I didn't even notice the tears streaming down my cheeks. She needed to know. She couldn't be left wondering. My vision clouded. My knees folded and I slid down the door. The flashlight clattering away from me as I fell sideways, shivering. Someone, a woman, was calling me, but I no longer recognized the voice. She was gone. I was alone. I just wanted to sleep and never have to wake up. I'm here. Please. Take me home. Miracle. Can't believe. You okay? No. Hypothermia. I heard voices. Raised, I think. Sometimes frantic. Sometimes angry. Fuck's sake, couldn't Connor and Clyde take us outside for once? The last thing that me or Mom needed was to listen to them screaming at each other. We do now. Should never have. This is all your fault. Stop this, it isn't helping. Then, as though my head broke the surface of cold water, the sounds came through fully, as did the pain. My very bones ached. My skin felt like it was scalded, like a million needles are poking me. My nose felt like a burning lump of coal. The combined pain forced a soft groan from my chest, and the voices quickly stopped for a moment. Gart, you're awake. I forced open my blurry eyes. My one good eye took a moment to focus on the figure hovering over me. It was unusually dark, with warm, flickering light.
Garrett?
Gart? Oh, sorry.
I assume this is Gale.
Yeah.
Garrett? Can you hear me? Can you talk?
I tried to speak, but all I could manage was another soft moan. Finally, I could see the figure clearly. We were in the mess hall. I feel like that transition where she's finally visible could have taken a bit longer, but small nitpick, you know?
Yeah. I think this is a really cool moment, though. Like, that effect was really neat.
Yeah. We were in the mess hall. It had been tidied up a little. The small candle heaters had been lit, and a gas lantern was hissing away, giving the room a dim but warm orange glow. Damn, sorry. Damn, kid. You're tougher than you look. I was shaken from a groggy stupor by a familiar, booming voice. Then I moved into my field of vision beside Gale, giving me a surprisingly warped smile coming from her.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Behind Gale was the rest of a group. Gale was beaming at me over leave, as was Stefan. Beside me, my clothes had been laid over a table with a lantern nearby.
We found your clothes in the hospital. It's what clued us in that you must have been somewhere on the ship.
I was still draped in the blankets from the hospital, but also I felt softness underneath, realizing I'd been laid out on a mattress on the floor between two overturned dining tables. Tabby looked sour, as did Aaron. We were both standing off away from the main group. I recalled their argument on the Sylvia. Either they held a grudge against me, or I'd missed yet another shitstorm. Sharif, June, Joseph, and Rufus were standing in pairs. June and Joseph on one side, naturally. And even from here, I could see Sharif and Joseph were fuming. Maybe I should just slip back into sweet unconsciousness and let whatever this was work itself out. It's good to see you survived as well, Garrett. If I may ask.
No, you may not. He needs rest.
Give him a break, will ya? He nearly died. I nearly died. Seeing whatever tension in the room was momentarily lifted as they crowded closer. Slowly, I forced myself to my pause, ignoring the protests of Gale. Dana offered me an arm and hauled me up. How did you find your way here? We thought you'd been killed in the Sylvia explosion. I dunno. I got lost in a blizzard, then it just cleared up. How did I get here? Now that I thought about it, I'd heard something. Had someone called out to me? But it was no use. The more I tried to recall, the further away the memories drifted. Like my fingers were brushing the edge of something floating on water. The more I reached for it, the more I pushed it away. As did we. It seems the blizzard dissipating saved all of us. Look, as much as I'd love to go over what we'd already been through, his tone was sharp, impatient. His eyes met mine. I caught a brief glint of something unpleasant. But we still need to decide how to deal with the situation. The tension from afore came back with a vengeance. Even Rufus and Dana, not normally ones to shy from confrontation, looked uncomfortable.
And we need to figure out how we got in this mess.
I cringed, expecting her to look at me, but her eyes were firmly on Joseph.
Enough, Tabby. This is no time to start throwing around blame. It's the perfect fucking time. I told you all that fucking ship was a death trap, and now look where we are. Tabby, I'm so... Shut up. I don't want to hear any excuses from either of you. Did you even get the fucking radio working again before the ship went down?
An awful silence settled. Even Joseph seemed taken aback. Well? I shuddered. I heard that tone before, when he'd squared up to Sharif.
The captain would have gotten a message off, I'm sure.
They didn't answer her question. The others, Ale and Dana excluded, now pressed around them. Cold, accusing glares forcing the pair to take a step backward. It was my responsibility. I will take blame.
No, it wasn't. You did.
It was my responsibility. His tone turned sharp. shooting June a look. That's well, but you still ain't answered a god fucking damn question. Did you get the radio fixed, yes or no? Guys, I croaked, struggling to stay on my feet, but they didn't budge. I made to move toward them, but Dana put an arm out, meeting my gaze. She gave me a firm shake of her head. Gail looked back and forth, frantic, but Dana gave her a hard stare. It seemed she wanted an answer to that question too. No. Silence that followed was thick enough to cut. The mutinous glare sent a chill through me worse than any blizzard. So what you're saying? Shuri spoke slowly, carefully, but I'd heard enough of his tone to know he was seething. Is it not only have we not sent any distress message, but since GPS was down for hours before she sank, any rescue sent could be miles off the Sylvia's actual last position. Am I correct? Joseph met his stare evenly. Not for the first time did I envy his steel nerves. If he was afraid, he hid it well. Yes. Another terrible silence followed. So, now what? I blurted out without really thinking, but it seemed to pop the bottle of tension that I'd been building. A little. Well, I would suggest we locate as many supplies as we can. Food and water, matches, fuel. Now wait a second there. Who put you in charge? In case you haven't been paying attention, we're not on your goddamn expedition anymore. I did not put myself in charge. I merely...
Oh, yeah. Another thing. Doesn't anyone find it convenient that we just happened to stumble on the errand?
I have no idea what you... His normally cool and controlled aura slipped as he glanced around at the hostile gazes. I told you guys he was up to something. I didn't believe that it was just an alternative route bullshit from the start. We set off on this new route of yours, and bam, we sailed right into the air. Coincidence? I told you all that the route was a likely course. I explained all of this to you. Do you seriously believe it's extraordinary that... What is that weird noise?
Everyone, just calm down. This isn't helping. She's right. We need to work together. Oh, shut up, Gail. You're the reason I'm even here. Tabby, that's not fair.
It was like a dentist drilled to the back of my skull. Not even a noise, really, more like a vibration. Every time I tried to pinpoint of my ears, it seemed to move.
Guys, throwing blame around is only...
And were we supposed to...
Be methodical about this.
Louder and louder, but also still not quite there. I covered my ears, trying to block it out, but now I feel like it was coming from inside my own head. Where is that coming from? The other's voices faded into background noise as I screwed my eyes shut, trying to block it out. Like a giant mosquito burrowed into my brain. Was I going to be trapped here? Die here? A miserable, slow, and lonely death with these people as my only company. Mom. She'd be completely alone. God damn it. Like, I use my phone to try and, like, keep track of the chat, but, like, it keeps shutting down because I'm not paying enough attention to it because I'm too invested in the reading. Damn it.
Ooh, it needs attention from Seji Poo. You just gotta give it a little tickle poke every once in a while.
Bonk. I just wanted someone to take me home. God, what is that fucking noise? I opened my eyes and looked at the others, who had stopped bickering to stare at me with a mixture of concern and disturbed looks.
Carrot?
She moved closer, placing a hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry, I just... Can't anyone else hear? And then I realized it was gone. Whatever noise had been there was only the sound of the wind outside, the dull creaking and groaning of a ship, and the awkward silence of our motley group. And my tinnitus.
So true. You should rest. You might still be suffering from the hypothermia.
To be honest, it sounded like a great idea. I felt like I could sleep standing up at this point.
Look, Sharif is right. We should get ourselves set up to spend potentially several days here at least.
A few unhappy murmurs, but no one objected. I'm gonna look for Alex. Stefan, for Christ's sake. Fuck you. None of you thought the Aaron was still afloat, but here we are. I was right. You do what you want. I'm gonna search this place until I find him. Before anyone else could interject, he turned and stormed out of the room, his paw steps fading into the distance. Well, I mean, we're here, right? This is why we came out here. The rest of us exchanged uncomfortable looks, but I could see that everyone else was thinking the same thing. We all had someone on this hulk.
Listen, if you guys want to search for your loved ones, why don't me and Joseph look for supplies and bring them here?
Good night, Kosha.
Oh, bye. Good night, Kosha.
It's your fault, Donji.
Everyone's leaving because of me. It's always my fault.
True. Your delusions are right. It is always your fault.
But, oh, don't even get me started on my delusions being right. Not in this economy.
We should probably also stop soon, Argo, so you can also go to sleep.
Do we need to? Is there another break coming up soon? Or?
Yeah, we can probably.
Okay.
A few guilty looks were exchanged as they recalled that it had been at her and Joseph's throats just minutes earlier, but sure he spoke for them all. That is a splendid idea. With everyone now left to their own devices, I was left to watch as people slowly trickled out until I was on my own. I moved gingerly over to my clothes and gripped the fabric. They dried surprisingly well. I wasn't sure the inside of my boots would have had a chance to dry properly. But I'd still rather be in mostly dry and warm clothes than these blankets. As I got dressed, I could hear Joseph and June talking from the far side of a mess hall, huddled together and talking in hushed tones. Part of me shared the other's resentment. Their incompetence had trapped us here, and now we didn't even know if rescue would ever find us. But another part of me felt a bit jealous. They had each other. And as much as Joseph resisted June taking any flack, she clearly had his back regardless. I sniffed, finishing lacing my boots. With nothing left for me here, I decided to take a look around the ship. And now it feels like a good time to stop.
Yeah, I agree.
Damn, how do you feel?
I like it. I think that it was a good lead up to this point. The shoe finally dropping, I mean. I wasn't expecting them to all get right back together as fast as they did, but I'm kind of grateful. I felt like I was just forcing you to do everything while I sat back and listened.
Yeah. You lazy bum.
I know. I'm so horrible.
For joking. But yeah, this novel is peak. What can I say?
Yeah, no, I really like it. I can't wait to get further into this part. Hopefully next week will be just as good.
Yeah.
But we should definitely plan soon to do the
Re-rates,
filler. Yeah.
Although honestly, I might get sick of doing too much Polar Night of that. But yeah, it is necessary. It is necessary. Yeah,
Okay.
you let me know. Don't worry. Although probably not tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, no, agree. Bye everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you. Bye.